giving my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't, that's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want. Inspired by thirst.
It was pretty in San Francisco, but not lovely in Raiderland. Falcons soared in Atlanta. Ravens dropped the ball in Pittsburgh and hit a steel wall. Jets fly into Stapleton, and they fly out with a W. Lions with the Big Cats with the Panthers. And Chicago gets a win for Dick. Hello, everybody. This is APBA Brian and friends. This is week 6 of our NFL Picks the Posts picks, and I'm joined by Keith White.
Hello.
And Michael Peterson. And going clockwise, Tim Gillis, Rob Kinsler, and Dan Mattingly. How's everybody doing?
Good.
All right. Pretty good.
Doing pretty good. Good.
All right, our first game on tap.
Twice, Dan.
Our first game on tap is the Denver Broncos go to Kansas City on Thursday Night Football. Denver is 1-4, and Kansas City is 4-1. This game is going to be on Amazon Prime with Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels on the call. Last week, the Chiefs got a victory. Mike Dana with a sack in the last play of the game to nail it down for the Chiefs. Keith, who's going to win the Denver Bronco game with Kansas City?
Yeah, I almost got the feeling right now that the Broncos maybe kind of quit on Peyton, or that he might have lost that locker room with that second half that they had against the well, actually they came back in the Bears, but the that game there against the Jets, though, and Hackett being there on the other side of the field, after what Peyton said about it, I just think the Chiefs are going to probably win pretty easy.
Okay, see, Michael?
I didn't even see the Jet game. It's like that was like garbage versus garbage. And Kansas City, I don't care what anybody says. Peyton is right. Lost the locker room. Maybe starting to lose the fans. And, he should have stayed in television. Chiefs in a blowout. I don't know how much stuff they have that Michaels and Herbstreit going to have to talk about, but it's going to be a blowout. Chiefs big.
Well, they can always talk about Taylor.
Yeah. Is she going to the game?
Don't know.
But they can talk about her.
She might be playing the drum.
Well, they could also bring up about, gee, Kirk, tell us what it was like dating the head cheerleader at Ohio State and marrying her.
That'll fill 10 minutes easy.
Who's that? Who did that?
Kirk Herbstreit, maybe the head cheerleader at Ohio State, okay. And I believe they're still married.
Mm-hmm.
I got a feeling there. If it's not story time by the beginning of the fourth quarter, then Mahomes must not have had a good night. But I'll give the Chiefs this one.
Story time with
two games this week. Two games this week have favorites 10 plus 10.5 points is not enough here. I'm not sure 20.5 points is enough here. It's going to be a beatdown. 33-6 Chiefs. They don't get a touchdown.
6.
Yeah.
You're going to have 2 field goals. My God.
I'm with you guys. Like Rob said, I think this is the week that the Chiefs offense really kind of explodes for the first time. That Denver defense is epically inept. They have holes all over the place. They're selling off pieces. They let go of Randy Gregory. And And, I think with the balanced offense and the defense, getting Nick Bolton back in the middle there will be huge this week. I just don't see what the Broncos are going to be able to do offensively to the Chiefs. Give me the Chiefs.
Yeah, I hope Kelsey is playing this week. He did not practice because of the ankle sprain from the last game. Didn't practice Monday. I think he's questionable. But, Denver's defense is officially 32 in points allowed. They are the worst. They still generally don't tackle people, and they don't cover receivers. Wilson's playing better than he did last year, but that's not going to be enough. P. Ryan and Williams have been disappointing. I think Kansas City, the only thing, their special teams have been beat twice, two big fourth down plays. We got to get that sewed up somehow.
That's big punts.
How that happens, that costs us a touchdown. So other than that, the defense has been playing great. Mahomes is 11-0 against Denver. He's going to be 12-0 when this is done. Next game is the Baltimore Ravens at the Tennessee Titans. Let's see, Baltimore is 2 on the season. Tennessee is 2-3, and it's going to be on the NFL Network. It's another London game, Rick Eisen and Kurt Warner. Michael?
The Ravens. It's nice to see Lamar Jackson doing something. I don't know who he's got to throw to, though. Maybe Mark Andrews. Tennessee with their brand new turf. They don't have to worry about grass anymore. They don't have to.
Remember that it's not. It's in London.
Oh, is this London? Which
London.
stadium? Which stadium?
I think it's Germany. I think it's in Germany.
No, not yet. It's in London.
Is it?
Oh,
Okay.
it's in London. Still, Tennessee seems to have such a following, but I think that Lamar's got too much for them. Give me the Ravens. I think they're going to start going on a bigger roll now.
Tim?
The problem is that the Ravens are so dang Jekyll and Hyde on offense. You don't know whether they're going to score 20 points or whether they're going to score 10 points.
Right.
Let's go.
I'm going to go a different way here. I'm going to go with the Titans to possibly control the ground here and keep Lamar off the field.
Rob?
Oh man, I'll tell you what, the Ravens come in this game 4-point favorites. I think it's a push. 21-17, Ravens. I like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went back and forth with this one. Both teams, I think, are Jekyll and Hyde, really, as you said. You don't know what you're going to get from the quarterbacks. Lamar was off last week. He was sailing passes all over the place. It kind of just depends on which Lamar we get. I think the Titans are fairly predictable. The Ravens defense shouldn't have too much trouble as long as they can limit Derrick Henry, but that's harder to do than it is to say for sure. Give me the Ravens. It's going to be close. And it is in the Tottenham.
Tottenham's
Hotspur.
Yeah, the
Tottenham.
Hotspur, yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
All right. Baltimore dropped 8 passes last week, and they're second in the league in drop passes. And they had this receivers coach who's playing genius last week, so he brings up rugby football for his receivers to practice catching with, and that did not work. It's like really catching a rugby ball is way different than catching a small football. Rugby is too fat, and you need your fingertips together and all that stuff. I hope they put that away and hope that 8 drop passes is just a blip in the radar. I'm picking Baltimore too. Tennessee offense is 26. They have to count on Tannehill. I don't have a lot of faith in him. Henry is good sometimes, but I think Baltimore's got too much for them. Keith?
Oh, what Tim was saying is pretty much what my thoughts were, right? I just think, maybe the the travel might have both teams a little sloppy, but I trust the ground game of the Titans more than the Ravens. It's not going to be a game where it's going to be a big difference in points, but I like the Titans to win this one.
Got you down for Titans. Next game is Washington.
Harris went with the Titans and the Chiefs. I'm sorry, Ravens and Chiefs. I'm sorry, Ravens and Chiefs. Yeah, he went with Baltimore. Ravens and Chiefs. Yeah, I got you.
All right, so Washington is 2-3. They go to Atlanta, who is 3-2. This is on CBS, and Andrew Catalon and Tiki Barber are calling this game. Ritter had a great game for Atlanta. He seems to be on target at home and can't play at all on the road. I think Tim's first.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing this game's in Atlanta, because I'm going to go with because the Commanders haven't showed me anything that they could play defense the last couple of weeks. What was that say, Michael?
9-1 Houston.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons here at home.
Rob?
Man, I'll tell you what. Can you lay a bigger egg than they did on Thursday night against the Bears? I'm like, this is the way I'm looking at it.
Yeah, watch the Giants.
10 days off, and their defense cannot play that bad 2 weeks in a row. They just cannot do it. If they even show up at all for this game, they win a game. I'm mild upset here. I know the Falcons are favored by 1.5. 27-24. One more time, I'm going with the Commanders. They may not do it, but I'm going to go with them.
It's a pick 'em, like you said. This is going to be a weird game. I like Atlanta at home. They can control the ball on the ground. I trust Howell less than Ritter at this point, which is really saying something. And I just don't know what Washington's got on defense that scares anybody, to be honest with you. I'll take the Falcons. They're the home team, but I don't have a lot of confidence in picking this game.
This is the battle of the Robinsons, Brian Robinson versus Bijan Robinson. I'm taking Bijan. Commanders cannot stop the run. They're 31st in the league on points allowed. And Howell is – I think his struggles are because of what the enemy is trying to do with him. He's trying to get him to push the ball like he did with Mahomes, but they don't have the offensive line to do that. So that's where he's 13 – but he's 49 yards, 69%, but 6 interceptions and 6 touchdowns. Ritter at home is gold. He's 5-0 at home. Bijan Robinson is rushing the ball for 5.4 yards, and Jesse Bates has 3 interceptions on defense. So I'm pretty confident in this. I know it's a pick game, but I'm pretty confident in picking Atlanta in this game. Keith?
Well, I know the Falcons aren't those mighty Bears I was talking up last week, but I still think Falcons have enough in their arsenal to take care of Washington. Washington's another team. They're just like a flaming bag of poo or something right now, and I don't know if, with the talk that's coming out of there with Magic Johnson angry with the coaches and stuff, and I just don't know how much longer this staff is going to be in place for the Commanders. I kind of look for the Falcons to win by more than a touchdown, maybe 10 points or more in this game.
Do you guys have Rivera or Peyton as first coach fired? Who do you think?
It could be for whoever makes the press first.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Watch out for McDaniel could still creep in.
You would think Rivera because he's been there longer, but Denver's just such a mess right now. Such a mess.
Yeah. Oh, and thanks for not rubbing our noses in your Bears pick. That was nice.
That was the only reason I had a better record this week.
Carolina's coach, is he gonna make it through the year? They ain't won nothing, so.
Michael, did we get your pick on this?
No, but I'm going to say a very famous phrase to all. Not so fast, my friends. Just because the Commanders aren't doing anything, I keep saying it, I still don't like Atlanta's quarterback, even though he is at home. Robinson is going to be a great running back, and if he gets a better quarterback, he's even going to be better. Believe it or not, I think with the home crowd, doesn't matter to me. I'm going to take the Commanders, and maybe the receivers will do something. If they don't, Rivera is gone before Halloween.
And Michael, that is spelled G-O-O-N-E, right? According to Vince McMahon.
Right.
Like you thought about Jeff Jarrett.
He's
Go
going.
I
on.
can't stand him either, so I have my own spelling for him. So no. I'm taking the Commanders to win this game.
All right, the Minnesota Vikings are 1-4, and they're at Chicago. By the way, it's supposed to be 55 degrees and maybe rain. And that Denver-Kansas City game, probably rain and possibly thunderstorms with lightning and a whole bit on Thursday
And
night.
it's outside then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wow.
So Chicago is 1-4. That's going to be on the Fox channel with Brendan Gowden and Robert Smith, the commentators. I think Rob is first.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, the Vikings are 4-point favorites on the road. So Vegas must really like them because generally they give you 3 points for being at home. So they're pretty much like them by a touchdown here. I don't like them by that much. I don't think they're going to cover 4, but I do like them to win. I take the Vikings here, 24-21.
It's a tough one. The matchup is almost all air versus almost all ground. They might have actually figured out how to throw the ball to DJ Moore on the Bears, so that could unlock something with their offense. It's a tough one. I think that Kirk Cousins looks good in so many hits, unnecessarily in my opinion. They're letting free rushers go almost constantly to free up receivers. He doesn't have one of his safety blankets with Justin Jefferson going on IR. He's out at least 4 weeks. Hawkinson did not look good, looked a little bit banged up in my opinion when I was watching him with the Chiefs. And, what to do with either of these defenses, really. They're kind of paper bags, both ends. Give me the Bears at home. I think they might have found something last week. And I just don't know where the Vikings are going.
Vikings offense is 16th in the league. The defense is 22. Cousins is having a big year. Madison in the last 2 weeks has found himself. To me, when we played both the Bears, the Chiefs also played the Vikings. I think the Viking game was much harder for the Chiefs. They're not going to have Justin Jefferson. He was injured, and I think he went to IR, so he could be gone for like 4 weeks.
It's minimum 4 weeks.
Yeah. So Fields with Chicago, I don't think he's playing all that bad. He is. It's been looked at. He's been bad. He's been horrible in the last 3 minutes of games. His quarterback rating goes down to 30. But as he gets in a little better shape, I think that will improve. Chicago can't get any pass rush. They got Claypool out of the locker room. I think that was a good move. But I'm picking Minnesota in this game. I think they're overall just a better team than Chicago. Keith?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I could go with for the Bears, but the fight song, but my throat's a little scratchy, so I won't go too far. Yeah, the Bears did find something with their opponent last week. That's for sure. They found that they don't cover DJ Moore. I hope that for the Vikings' sake that they figure out that they need to do that. I also like Brian. I just think the Vikings are a better all-around team than the Bears, although lack of a running game is still a little bit concerning. I just think that they'll still move the ball through the air, give Cousins enough time, and the Vikings will win the ball game.
Michael?
This is believe it or not, this is a tough one. You know, you got Justin Fields, who's probably going to be the leading rusher for both teams. You got Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is playing well, but I think there's one problem. The Vikings are going to have to play on grass. They're not playing on their turf. They can't score and not scold. But the Bears are just as bad as my Giants. Give me the Vikings.
Oh, you talked about their turf there. And it's kind of becoming a talking point in the NFL about these turf and putting too much rubber flakes on there. Definitely the case in Minnesota because the footing was awful in that game, and probably the reason for Kelsey's injury and Jefferson's injury, both cases.
But give me
Tim?
the Vikings.
I mean, that was a very inspired effort last week by the Bears.
Inspired.
Yeah, well, Dick Buckus, I think, might have been
the greatest bear ever.
No. Unfortunately, that's not saying a whole lot, but Walter Payton might have something to say about that.
Yeah, that's true. But still,
anyway,
just. And by the way, he's
toss this one up. I think I'll give this one to the Vikings.
Okay.
Dan Hampton might have something to say about it too. I think that Hampton was one of the great Bears.
Him and Richard Dent didn't end his career with the Bears though.
Yeah, he went to the 49ers, didn't he?
No, he went to the.
Actually, I was a Walter Payton fan anyway. I'm a Walter Payton fan anyway.
Gale Sayers was pretty good, but he didn't really play long enough.
Yeah, his knee injury. Yeah, he might have been.
Brian Piccolo.
Seattle's our next game. They're 3-1, and they are at Cincinnati, where it's going to be 55 degrees and a chance for rain. Cincinnati is 2-3, and Jamar Chase went off as Joe Burrow's kind of finding some strength in his legs now last week. And are we at Dan?
Yep. So we've got a score update in the chat there, Brian, if you want to put that up. Seattle and Cincinnati should be a good game. I think the Bengals have found their legs. I was a little surprised to see such a dramatic jump, but when you have a receiver as talented as Chase, anything can happen. Burrow was pushing off. He was really using his legs the way he normally does in the pocket. He was shifty. He was sliding outside and back in and making the right reads. This team looks a little bit like the scary kind of monster that the Chiefs had to worry about last year, for sure. And Seattle, they're tough. Geno's got the offense kind of going. I like what Walker does, but I think the Bengals are going to be playing pretty inspired football to stay in the playoff race.
For Seattle, other than Witherspoon, who had a 97-yard pick six last week, I think their secondary has been pretty weak this year. Offensively, Seattle's 6th and 18th on defense. Running backs are good, Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet from UCLA. When I saw Charbonnet play at UCLA, I really wasn't all that impressed. But what I've seen him do in the little bit that's been with the Seahawks, I'm much more impressed. Seattle's offensive line has allowed only 7 sacks this year. But it looks like Cincinnati is kind of putting it back together now that Burrow is feeling better. Should be able to rush the passer with Hendrickson and Hubbard. That's going to be something to watch if they can beat Seattle's offensive line. Burrow and Chase, I think they stay hot, and I'm going to give this game to Cincinnati. Keith?
Yeah, my feelings of the Bengals changed a lot from last week after watching them play the way they did against the Cardinals, and Burrow was more effective and was able to hit his receiver Chase, I believe, for a touchdown in that game. Seattle, I remember, it seemed like they were running the ball really well against the Giants. They could move the ball against them. But later I heard they were getting criticized because they weren't putting points in the game on the board, and they were letting the Giants stay within the, competitive, close enough to where the game didn't get decided till very late. I'm not real comfortable with this game at all as far as who's going to win, but I will pick the Bengals to sneak this one out. One big play might be enough.
Let me back up. Dan, you did say the Bengals?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. Michael?
And Seattle is the home team or Cincinnati is?
Cincinnati.
Okay.
Cincinnati.
Then that gives me something. Okay. That's a big advantage. The Cincinnati fans come out in droves. They're finally starting to fill up this ballpark. And I'm happy to see that Joe Burrow is getting better. Once they get a running game together, if they find one, I just like watching Chase do his touchdown dance because everybody's copying it. So I don't know. It might be a penalty game, but let's go with the home team. Let's take the Bengals. It's gonna be a close one.
Tim?
I'm going to actually go with the Seahawks because I'm not. Let's see if the Bengals can put it together a couple weeks in a row.
Yeah, Bengals are 2-point favorites in this game, and you know what? Really, first 5 weeks of the season, to me, the Seahawks have played better football. The Bengals have had bits and pieces where they've been good. I'm still not sold on Burrow being healthy yet, and if he's not, this is a team that's going to put him in the ground because these boys don't care. And I think this is where we find out where the rubber hits the pavement. I like the Seahawks, 26-24. Mild upset.
Harris also likes the Seahawks in his picks. All right, next game is the San Francisco 49ers at the Cleveland Browns. San Francisco is 5-0, of course. It's going to be 56 degrees, and rain is likely in Santa Clara. In Cleveland.
In Cleveland, yeah.
And Cleveland is 2-2, and
Bliney!
Brock Purdy is looking like the perfect quarterback. I mean, the second coming of Joe Montana. I think I'm first on this one.
Yep.
Right, the offense for San Francisco is number 2 in the league. The defense is number 1 in the league. There's just not much air left for their opponents. Purdy is 1,271 yards, 72%, 9 touchdowns, and no interceptions.
Still
And
simple.
he's got a 13-0 starting record, not counting the game where he went out early with the injured elbow. It's just been an unbelievable start for Mr. Irrelevant. Ayuk, Samuel were combined 640 yards with 41 catches, and the team is totally healthy. No injuries over there. Unlike Cleveland, Watson's battling issues, and Murphy is battling issues. The running game is not restarted since they lost Chubb. Ford's only getting 3.7 yards, and it's signed Kareem Hunt, but he's only getting 2.5 yards. There's going to be too much pass rush for Watson. I'm in San Francisco.
Yeah, this would be kind of NFL being the NFL. Maybe this game will end up being one of those games that'll be close, but I don't have the feeling of the upset like I did with last week's game that I picked, but the Thursday night game. I'll go with the 49ers to win this game. They are healthy. They've got balance. They can do a lot of exciting things on offense. Purdy does look like a very good quarterback. And then outside of that, they've got a really good defense. So Cleveland, I don't think, can keep up with all that. 49ers.
The other thing about playing San Francisco, and I followed this last year, when you had to play the 49ers, it's like you're going to lose 2 games, because I think all their opponents last year lost the subsequent week as well. Now this year, their first opponent won their second game, but the others have lost, I believe. So that's something to watch. Michael Peterson.
Well, what else? What can you say bad about the 49ers? They are playing just real good football. Brock Purdy 2 weeks ago, they said, he's just still a flash in the pan. Now everybody's saying he should be MVP. He should have been MVP to start the season. Okay? And now I'm wondering why you have that white helmet, because San Francisco's going to take all the brown out of it. Not even Boyney the Elf is going to help him, So the white helmet is because Cleveland is going to be scared. 49ers, maybe in a shutout. Maybe.
Wow.
They're why throwing up the white flag. Tim?
Well, I could see that happening if DTR plays. Just he looked lost, and the 49ers defense will throw something at me ain't never seen before. Well, that's a whole nother situation. He might have got Johnny Manziel disease for all I know.
This is the backup. This is the quarterback behind Watson.
Yes, Dorian Thompson-Robinson from from UCLA.
UCLA, right? UCLA.
Yeah.
I like the 49ers. Maybe not as big as people might think, because I think the Browns defense probably won't allow 42 points, but maybe only 28 or 30. I don't think they'll score that much.
Say welcome to DJ John 4444.
Yeah, he's got Niners.
Yeah.
Hello from the left coast, DJ.
Harris is taking the 49ers. I tell you what, this is one right here, man. I'll tell you what, I'm kind of like Tim. I think this could be a trip-up game. I really do. They're playing on the road. It's going to be crappy weather. If you ever had to count on your tight end, which, I mean, he caught 3 passes this past weekend. All 3 for touchdowns. I mean, that's pretty
The day before his birthday.
Pretty damn efficient. I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a close ball game. I really do. 28-24, Niners in a squeaker. I think they'll be losing in the fourth quarter. I think they'll be losing in the fourth. How about that?
Okay, I like that. I had a different beat on it, though. I mean, it could go either way. I think it's hard to play. It's hard to play in Cleveland. They've got some good fans out there, but I think the Niners have the blueprint to block a dynamic pass rusher. They made Micah Parsons' life just very difficult in that game. I think that with all the weapons healthy, the Niners are the team to beat in the NFL. They're a juggernaut. And I think there are a lot more questions about Cleveland's offense. As you mentioned, that running game just hasn't gotten off the ground since they lost Chubb. Amari Cooper and the receivers just don't scare me as much as what the Niners are bringing to the table for sure. And the quarterback play has been very up and down for the Browns this year. Give me the Niners, and might be a close one.
All right, Carolina Panthers against the track team.
Oh, yeah.
Carolina Panthers.
It's their second leg.
Carolina's 0-5, and Miami is 4-1. It's supposed to be 87 degrees in Miami with a chance of rain. Cheney had a great game last week, but he is injured. I think he's out.
A couple weeks at least.
I
I think-
I'm
Did they IR him?
4 weeks. So.
Yeah, I'm
They're
not going
thinking
to.
about it, but they're not sure.
I
yet.
think he's out at least. I'm not sure they IR'd him, but I'm hearing 3 or 4 weeks is what they're looking at, though.
Yeah, I don't want to overthink this game. I think the Dolphins just have too much firepower for the Panthers, and the Panthers are going to be looking a little longer for that first win.
Michael?
This is going to be. The Dolphins are probably going to bring the hurdles. They got. Is Tua healthy? Yes. Their main tree receivers, are they healthy? Yes. Is Claypool going to be ready to play for them?
No.
Yes. Is Mostert going to score about 2 touchdowns for them? Yes. What can I say about the Panthers? Yeah,
I think that says enough right there.
The pause said it all.
The pause said it all.
Look, John's got the fins too. All right.
Tim?
Yeah, I'm not saying they'll put up 60, but I would not be shocked.
You
if the
never
Dolphins, the Dolphins put up 50 and called off the Dogs in the third quarter instead of the fourth quarter. Might get a Mike White sighting.
Oh.
Former Jet.
Yeah.
Rob?
Yeah. At 3, like I said, 3 games this week, double figure. And this one, the favorite's not going to lose. The Panthers going to win a game somewhere along the way, probably in that NFC South, but not this week, man. This is going to be really. If you got to watch this game, take a nap. 42-10. The Dolphins they might give up 10, but I'm not counting on that. But that's the safest bet in Vegas. The safest bet in Vegas this week is Dolphins 10.5. I'd give it up. I'd give 21 up. They're going to beat this team bad.
Oh, maybe Red Zone won't be showing that much.
Yep, right. Hurts to lose a young running back. He's electric, but yeah, there's not much to say about this game. It's going to be a lot to a little.
The one positive about this game is it's on CBS and it's going to be broadcast by Kevin Harlan and Trent Green.
Oh boy,
Kevin Harlan gets this game? Oh my God! What are they?
I don't know why he got this game, but
I wonder how soon it will be.
Yeah, they just
and
put
the
him in
Dolphins score a
Siberia.
touchdown with no regard for human life.
Give Romo
Kevin
this
Harlan,
game,
I think
please.
he's great.
He's great.
Give Romo this game. I can't stand it.
Oh yeah,
Can you believe the way they play this week?
they could give him to Beth Mowers.
Owens.
one thing positive you can say about Carolina Panthers is that Adam Thielen's career is definitely not over. 38 catches, 394 yards. Yeah, Brian Burns is having a good season at defensive end, 4 sacks and 60 TFLs. The Dolphins are just too fast. Quarterback's well protected. He's only had 6 sacks. So he's got time to throw the ball, and they got time to run as deep as they want into their patterns. So Miami, and I think it might be a 50-60 burger.
Oh, poor
For
Kevin.
everybody is on Miami.
I like Kevin Harlan. He's a great broadcaster. He's so funny.
That's my Kansas City team. He used to broadcast the Chiefs. I think he's from Kansas City, of course.
Oh, is he? Oh, I like him. He's so funny.
You know his
He's
daughter's
so-
a
he's
sideline
so-
reporter too.
He makes a 1st and 10 so exciting, and he only gets 2 yards on the play.
I'm calling both games.
All right, Mike. I
Oh
think
yeah, that was him at the end of the year. That was
Oh
beautiful.
yeah.
Yeah.
This
Next game is the Indianapolis Colts. They're 3-2, and the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are also 3-2, 76 and clear. This game's on CBS. Sparrow Dides and Adam Archuleta's on the call. Gardner Minshew will be replacing Anthony Richardson due to injury. And I think
Michael,
I can leave this off. And I'm going to give my first shout out. My first shout out goes to my hero, Pat McAfee. He had the gall. Didn't have the gall. He had the balls to go from the Cotton Bowl to doing a football game, getting on a plane, going to his hometown in Indianapolis, and introducing John Cena on Saturday night. Okay? He is my hero right now. Meanwhile, he could probably play quarterback better than Anthony Richardson. Okay?
Who's out? Or Minshew, maybe.
Yeah, Minshew.
Yeah,
What?
Richardson's out.
Yeah, Mustachio.
Richardson's out.
Richardson's gonna be out a while.
Porno
now,
star. I forgot the porno star is going to be, yes, the porno star quarterback. I forgot about that. And he's all right. Sometimes I think he's better than Richardson. I think Jacksonville's just going to be tired from coming back from 2 weeks in London. P.S. I think that's going to be their home field pretty soon. I think they're going to be leaving Jacksonville and they're going to go be a London team because they've got a great fan base over there. But I'm going to take a hunch. I'm going to go with El Mustachio. I'm going to go with the porno star. Give me the Colts.
El Mustachio.
Yeah, El Mustachio. You know. Next.
I'm going slight upset here. The Colts, I mean, you don't make Minshew throw many passes, you could probably win this game. And maybe there is a little bit of a letdown for two big wins over in London. I'll take the Colts.
Okay, Rob?
Way to go, Tim.
Jags 4.5-point favorite this week. And, man, the Colts are so iffy. 1 week they play decent. The next week, they look like they're holding a towel out there letting the bull run through them.
El Mustachio, baby.
Some reason, I just think the Jags show up here. It's just this is one. I think they're going to be happy to be home. I think they cover, too. 27-21. I'll take the Jags.
Dan?
Well, John took Indy, so he's on board with that Colts pick. I think Indianapolis is a better team when Minshew plays quarterback. Richardson just doesn't have it through the air. The decision-making's not there because he hasn't played enough football. They're putting him out there. They're getting him reps, but he keeps getting banged up. And like Rob said, what is this Colts team? They have a defense 1 week. They don't have a defense the next week. They're clutch 1 week. And then the next week, it just looks like anybody could beat them. I don't have a beat on the Colts, but I think this is kind of one of those games where the young Jaguars team that needs to establish themselves as a power in the AFC needs to show up. I think this is an important game to kind of show that they can get on a roll and clinch early this season. And this is a Colts team that if they're going to go anywhere in the playoffs, the Jags need to beat. Give me Jacksonville.
These two teams played in week one, and Jacksonville won that game 31-21. Yeah, so it's kind of a revenge game for Indianapolis, but I think the Jaguars are too good for them. They're leaving in London, and they've not particularly played well at home. But I think they'll be glad to get home, and I think they'll be refreshed to be at home. ETN's having a great season, 396 yards. Josh Allen on defense has got 6 sacks, 9 quarterback hits, 5 tackles for losses. I think Jacksonville is going to go 4-2. I think they're going to win. Keith?
Well, I think the Jaguars are better than the Colts, and the Colts sometimes in a game will play a lot. They'll do the scoring in one half, and then the other half they kind of let the other team get back in it or something, like they did against the Rams. But the Jaguars heading back, it almost might be a team playing a Sunday game against a team playing on Thursday with a shortened week. I just don't know. I think that's going to take a little bit out of the Jaguars, even though I think they're a better team. If the Jaguars can keep it kind of close in the first half without getting behind, I think they probably find a way to win. But I'm going to say the Colts are going to pull a little bit of an upset in this one.
Wow.
Harris is also with the Colts.
Okay, so it's split down the middle pretty much.
It is.
Oh,
You call this a you get to pick 'em game.
telling you, Pat McAfee could play quarterback for the Colts.
Okay, next up we have New Orleans Saints at the Houston Texans. New Orleans is 3-2, and the Texans are 2-3. New Orleans has got Kamara back. He had a good game. Who's first?
Tim.
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 Please,
Tim.
Tim.
Tim. You have to
All
give
right.
me-
This was actually one of my tougher picks because New Orleans did look good, and Houston kind of took one on the chin a little bit. The game being in Houston, I'm guessing, yes, it is. Maybe a slight upset. I'll go with the Texans to bounce back.
They're actually favored. They're actually
They are
favored.
okay.
Yep. They're a 1-point favorite, and I'll tell you, I don't know if I'm real confident in this pick because the Saints look like every week they're showing up now. And the one weakness they have, is quarterback, but man, oh man, their defense shows up. The running game seems to do decent. Their defensive backs are just blanketing people. And I'm wondering if CJ Stroud may have a rough week right here. This is one, it might be just a little bit of a wake-up call. I think it's going to be a good ball game. Saints 20, Texans 17, mild upset. Harris likes the Saints as well.
Dan?
Well, John's got New Orleans, and I'm kind of going to follow him out on that pick. I like what I saw from the Saints the past 2 weeks. They look good. They look like they've figured out how to put points up with limitations at quarterback, like you mentioned. Stroud, he had some struggles. The rookie game finally came for him. And I really think that with what New Orleans presents on defense, it's going to be a problem for them. They've got young receivers that just aren't going to know what to do with the leverage those D-backs are going to put on them. Give me the Saints. It's a tough pick, though.
Okay, Bob mentioned the defensive secondary of New Orleans. They are brutal. 6 interceptions and 27 passes defense. I've been talking about their secondary all year. And that's the primary reason why their defense is number 4 in the NFL. But their offense is still only 22. They can run the ball a little bit. Kamara is back. But I'm beginning to wonder if Derek Carr is kind of done with his NFL career. 65%, only 946 yards, 4 touchdowns, a couple interceptions. I think Stroud is better than Carr right now. So I'm kind of leaning toward Houston. Houston's running backs have to do a better job, and it's going to be tough against New Orleans. Their offense is 13th. Defense is still decent with 11th. I think Houston is a little more consistent, I think, than New Orleans, in my mind. So I'm going with Houston. Keith?
I'm going to kind of go with what Dan said. I think the Saints defense, Stroud, his receivers, this might be a tougher kind of defense than what they've faced so far. Although Pittsburgh had a good defense, and that they did pretty good against that. But the Saints, I think, not really using New England so much as a measuring stick, but I think that they can do enough on the ground, through the air, and on defense that they will win a game. It might be close, but I'll go with the Saints to win this game.
Michael?
This is a tough game to call. New Orleans is in that division. That division's, oh my goodness, they got off to a good start with New Orleans and Tampa Bay and the Falcons and all that. I don't know. CJ Stroud the one time I saw him, he kind of impressed me a little bit. If Houston can get some defense and can find a way to get out to a fast start, it might be back and forth all the way. And I'm not talking field goals. You might have a touchdown here, a field goal there, might be 10-3, 10-10. It's going to be a close game. Don't be surprised if the game goes into overtime. I think that there's one advantage that one team has: the home crowd. It's not in New Orleans with all the loudness and all that. It's in Houston. I'm going to take the Texans.
Okay, next game is the Las Vegas Raiders at home again, and the free falling New England Patriots.
We're not making a stop in Valhalla.
Yeah, New England is 1-4. Patriots are 1-4, and Las Vegas
2-3.
2-3. This is in a dome, so we're not worried about the weather. But Mac Jones is going to have to worry about that guy, Crosby.
Me?
I think so.
Yes.
Man, this might be messy game of the week, even though they're playing in a dome. They're going to be playing this like it's a mud hole. I don't think either team ever gets up by 7 points in this game. How about that one? The Raiders are 1.5 favorite. For some reason, I just think the Patriots find a way to pull us one out. This might be one of those scorigami games. 18-17.
Rob, you do realize that was the score of the Saints-Packers game earlier this year.
18-17?
Yeah. That's okay. It's a weirder score. We'll just say a weird score.
Which game was it? Saints-Packers, you say?
Yeah, Saints-Packers was 18-17.
Was that the scorigami game?
No.
Right? There's one scorigami game this year so far, right?
There's been
two. Same way. The 70, the 70, 20.
Oh, the 70, 20.
Sorry, there's been three. There's the 70-20, 25-11, and 25-9.
Rob, who did you take in this one?
New England.
I'm taking the Pats. I like the Patriots. 18-17.
Dan?
Okay. See?
I think you're muted, Dan.
I think you're muted, Dan.
Sorry, the dogs were going off again.
Oh, gee, doesn't that sound familiar?
Yeah, Mike, you and me were in the same boat. Here we go. So yeah, that was fun. John's got Vegas, and I like them as well. I just have so little confidence in what the Patriots are doing. Coaching, the play on the field, it's just a massive zero for me. Mac's not processing quickly. He doesn't look like he's going to stick in the NFL, unfortunately. They're not able to get much from Stevenson because there's no fear of the passing attack, and there are no weapons. I mean, I don't know how many weeks I can say that. If it is a mud bowl, Stevenson may have a shot to push him over the top, but I like Vegas. I think they have a little bit better defense. The Pats have lost their two best defensive players to injury, with Judon and their best defensive back being out. The Pats are thin. Give me the Raiders.
It has been the worst 2 consecutive weeks in Patriots history, negative 69 points.
Just like the Giants.
And Belichick's record without Tom Brady, 72-79. And it's not getting any better anytime soon. We talked about before the show the big controversy in New England. Are they going to continue to let Belichick stay as general manager and pick the players? In 6 years, he's drafted 2 All-Pro players, 1 a punter and 1 a punt returner. At least his days as a GM, I think, are numbered. Crosby last Monday night had 1 sack and 4 tackles for a loss. They're trying trying to get Josh Jacobs going. They gave him lots of opportunities, and the secondary picked off Jordan Love 3 times. I think they'll pick off Mac Jones 3 times if Belichick leaves him in that long, but he has pulled him in the last 2 games. I'm picking Las Vegas. Keith?
Yeah, it's hard to pick the Raiders because they're kind of got their own problems. Was the GM, but obviously he is because that's what I've been hearing all the last couple of days. What is the record for Belichick against his old coaches, like his old coordinators and stuff? He doesn't lose to them very often.
Yeah, this is one of the 2 coordinator revenge games, I guess.
Yeah, but I think McDaniel will get the win here. I don't know, it's because they're at home so much, but I just think that they've got a few more things going for them than the Patriots do, because the Patriots don't really have anything going for them. So if they had one thing going for them, that'd be enough, probably. I'll go with the Raiders.
Michael?
Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, find your helmet. The Raiders, I have this damn feeling that there's going to be more Patriot fans at Vegas than the Vegas fans are when they're home. But Jimmy, you got to find your helmet. That's why you got a concussion. You keep losing your helmet. But let's go to the other side. Oh, I can make tons of jokes, man. Double B with his problems. Can I ask who was the backup there in New England?
Zappy.
Zappy times are
right.
here.
That's who should be starting at quarterback. My man Zappy. He's better than Mac Jones. But since Double B is probably tanking all these games to get that quarterback from Usk, I'm going to take the Raiders and hopefully hope to God that they can recover from the other night. Give me the Raiders. Even though I love that B.
So, Michael, does that mean that Double B will get the Triple B belt?
No, he's not going to get the triple. He's not going to win the Triple B. Or actually, the third B will be bounced out of New England.
Now we remember what happened last year in this game. That wonderful throwback lateral on the last play of the game.
Yes, on the last play,
Mac Jones got ran over
and ran in for a score. I forgot about that. Yeah, and that could happen again.
No, it's not. Okay, it may happen at the end of the first half, but
and my man Zappy. If they don't bring Zappy in soon, Belichick is going to tank. He's going to tank to go after that quarterback.
Well, if he tanks, then I would suggest that they completely get a new head coach and coaching staff for that, because
that's another story.
When your coach is picking the players, and if he's going to tank, and that's
Zappy.
I'll take the Raiders in this one. Hopefully, it's going to. That's my
Oakland.
By the way,
Poor Rob.
Harris took the Raiders, so I'm on an island to myself.
Is there any chance of a tuck rule too in that game?
No, I don't think so. No, it's indoors. That's
or a Sugar Bear Jones.
It could be indoors. The tuck rule is just didn't have anything to do with the snow.
Or Sugar Bear Hamilton. Sugar Bear Hamilton.
Yeah.
What's that?
Or a Sugar Bear Hamilton.
Next game is the Arizona Cardinals, 1-4, at the Los Angeles Rams, 2-3. This game's in a dome. It's going to be on Fox with Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma calling the action. Nance and Momo are calling the New England Vegas game.
Well, hello to Marion Foster. Hello.
There we go.
And I think
John picked up the Raiders as well, DJ John.
Yes. And Demarion Foster jumped on. He's got Atlanta in their matchup. But for this game, I mean, I think that the Rams might have the three of the best receivers in the league, but they're definitely three of the most fun names to say in the league. You got Cooper Kupp, Tutu Atwell, and Puka Nacua.
Puka!
Right there. They're moving the ball. The Rams, they've figured out a little bit of running game, and I think they've got enough defense to hold this Cardinals team, who's pretty frisky, down. I've got the Rams. I think they're pointing up with all the weapons that they've got going on offense.
Well, it's been fun watching this plucky Cardinal team, not so much last week, and also the injury to James Conner, I think, is going to hurt them. They picked up Tony Jones from New Orleans, and they got Damian Williams on their practice squad. Defense is 27th in the league. They've given up 30 points or more 3 of the 5 games. Well, we talked about the receivers of the Rams. Stafford is having a field day, 1,451 yards, 5 touchdowns. He has thrown 5 interceptions. I think that will get better. And Kai Williams is an improvement in running back over Akers. It's going to be too much Aaron Donald in the face of Josh Dobbs. I'm picking the Rams.
Yeah, I think I like the Rams here. They've been playing, to me, I think they've been playing tough all year long. Cardinals have been playing tough pretty much all year long, but they lost to the Bengals. I like the Rams at home here with their receivers healthy now. And I just think they'll put too many points up on the board for the Cardinals.
Michael?
First of all, Puka, what a great name. That's another one of the great names. Man, that would be a great receiving combination. Zappy to Puka. Oh, that would be wonderful. And the Cardinals quarterback, he could be just as better. He could be better than Murray has been. God only knows when Murray's coming back. And they do have a running game. They have a couple of good players and stuff. But with Patthew Mafford, doing his thing, he calls his buddies at Little Caesar. And they'll take care of him. And I kind of like the Rams. They're home. They're indoors. The Cardinals don't have as many fans as the Rams do. And we'll take the Rams in a close one.
Tim?
Yeah, I'll take the Rams as well.
Rob?
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what. When I saw the Rams were faded 4.5 points, I was like, no, way too much. Then I just got to decide who's going to win a game. And Cooper Kupp probably makes a difference in this game. 4.5 is too much, though. If I'm betting, I'm going Cardinals, but Rams going to win straight up a 30-27. I think it's going to be a very close game.
I wonder how many Cooper had last week.
What, receptions or yards?
I think he had, I want to say 98 yards. I'm not sure.
4 catches. Did he get 4 catches?
Cooper, I thought he had more.
Oh, he may have.
That was the first drive.
On the season, Puka's got 572 with 46 catches. I think he.
Puka!
Let's see what he had last week against the Eagles. Cooper Kupp. 8 for 118.
Oh, nice.
Oh, 8
that is good.
Especially in the comeback game. That's real nice.
Yeah.
All right, the Philadelphia Eagles are 5-0. They're going to New Jersey to play the Jets. It's supposed to be 55 degrees, and rain is likely. Jets are 2-3. It's going to be called by Kevin Kugler on Fox, along with Mark Sanchez.
I think it's you, Brian.
Appropriate.
Yeah, that's you, Brian.
Okay, the Eagles. Swift is 434 yards for 5.7 average, so the offensive line is still blocking. And Jason Kelce, though he was considering retirement last year, I'm glad he's still playing because he's still one of the premier centers. I think the biggest thing with the Eagles is their red zone issues on both sides of the ball. They're only 42% scoring when they get in the red zone. And when their opponent gets in the red zone, they score 72% of the time. So that's one of their games are close, probably. And Jalen Hurts is not quite putting up the numbers that he had been putting up last year. But at some point, he'll probably get it going. He's got plenty of talent to throw it to. The Jets are 24th on offense, 13th on defense. Zach Wilson's thrown for 911, 61%, 4 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. Brees Hall is carrying the ball 7.2 yards a carry. Had a big game
He's only played one game.
last week. The biggest thing for the Jets, they lost number 75, Vera Tucker. He's out for the season. He's our right tackle, I think. And he went out last year, and that's a point where their offensive line fell apart last year. So it could happen again this year. I'm picking Philadelphia.
Yeah, Jets, even though they got a really good defense, that can kind of keep them in some games. I don't think that they're going to beat the Eagles. I'm going to go with Philadelphia to win. Hurts, I think, can probably play a good enough game to keep them, from getting upset in this one. I'm not going to say they're going to win by double figures or anything, but I think it's a possibility. I'll go with the Eagles.
Michael?
Here's another game. Even though they're playing at the Met, there's going to be more Eagle fans showing up there than the Jet fans showing up there. Mark my words. And the name to mark, Kenny Gainwell. I think he's going to have another good game. He always seems to do well against these New York teams, especially my Giants. I don't care. Sanchez is doing the game. Make sure he can hold the ball and make sure he knows how to run and not hit anybody's butt during the broadcast. The Jets. Brees Hall. Once Philadelphia gets a hold of Brees Hall, Zachy Poo will have his 3 interceptions, and the Eagles will have his wide receivers going, and the Eagles will blow out the Jets at home.
Tim?
I don't see this being a blowout, Michael. I think it's going to be a closer game. I think the Jets defense can hold the Eagles. They'll win, but it'll be a closer game than what you might think. I'll take the Eagles. Let's go by 7 points, but I think the Eagles will win.
Okay.
All the Eagles games have been close this year. There's not been any blowouts. Rob?
Blowout. 33 to 20.
20? You're going to let the Jets score 20?
The Jets just cannot sustain drives against a defense like this. I just don't think so. 20 might be, like you say, 20 might still be a little bit of a wishing well. It could be 33 to 10. They're going to beat their ass.
Rob and I are in the same boat on this one.
6.5 points. I wouldn't whine at all if somebody said, "Well, can you make it 7, Rob?" Yeah, I can make it 7.
Yeah.
33-20 Eagles.
Dan?
So, I never like when the team I'm picking loses their best offensive lineman. That's usually a bad sign. It's hard to patch that in a week. The Eagles, they're kind of chugging along. They look a little bit like the NFC Chiefs at this point. They're just staying in games and winning with like kind of almost mechanical precision. It's not always pretty, but they get the job done. Brees Hall, if any team can slow down that running game that the Jets have, because Hall was phenomenal last week, it's probably the Eagles with all the backers that they have to throw out. And I really think that with Hurts' ability to run the ball and with the offensive weapons the Eagles have, they should have enough to beat this Jets team.
Everybody's on the Eagles? Or we have
Again with another.
Yep. John had Philly too.
What did Harris have? Eagles?
Harris
Yeah,
got the
Eagles.
Eagles. Did you pick them too, Brian?
Yeah, Eagles. Detroit is 4-1, going to Tampa Bay, where it's supposed to be 77 and clear Sunday, and Tampa Bay is 3-1. Montgomery's having a very good season for the Eagles, and Jamar Gibbs is a little bit banged up. I think, Keith, you're first.
Yeah, this is a tough game, but I'm going to be a believer in the Lions here, even though they're on the road. Tampa Bay has played better than what I projected them to be this year. Baker might have a bad day, though, here. Mayfield might find it tough against this Lions pass rush. I'll go with the Lions to find a way to win this one. Probably, well, find a way. I think they'll win it, but I think they'll even win by double figures.
Michael?
This is a trap game for the Lions because they're down in Bakerland. Okay? The Bucks are playing much better. Baker's a little bit more consistent. We don't have to worry about any controversy over who's doing what. But this is a trap game for the Lions. Dan Campbell better watch out about what he's looking for. If the Buccaneers find a way to stop Aiden Hutchinson with their offense, I think they're going to find a way to win this game. Give me the Buccaneers.
Wow. Well,
Harris
Hutchinson
also has the Buccaneers.
Okay. Well, Hutchinson does have the hip contusion, right? He should be playing,
Yes.
but he might not be.
I think he's a problem
Probable.
right
Yeah.
now. Yes, I think he's probable.
Yeah,
I'll
one interception.
still take the Lions in this game. And Rob?
Man, I tell you what, the Lions are 3-point favorites in Vegas here. So Vegas really likes them here because you're a road team, and they're still saying, "Hey, we'll spot you 3." Man, I tell you what, anytime it's like that, it's a scare to me to go the other way. I can't do it. I think the Lions is a better team. Are they in the dome? No, but man, I tell you what, with or without Hutchinson, I just think they're the better team here. I think they're able to put points on the board. 31-21. I'll go with the Lions.
I like that. I might bet that, actually. Tampa Bay, like you guys said, pretty good defense. They've got the weapons on offense. Not a great run game. I think that Detroit, like I talked about with Jacksonville, this is a team that needs to establish that they can beat teams that they're better than on a week-to-week basis. And this is a game they need. They're pretty far out in front in their division, and their division does look a little rough right now. But, if they want to lock it up early and sit their guys and get ready for the playoffs, this is one of those games. I think that Goff is playing fantastic. He is finding all the pieces to that offense right now, and I think the Lions keep rolling.
Detroit. Okay, so Hutchinson last week had 4 sacks, 4 TFLs, and one interception. And that's his 4th in his career for career
He might be
interceptions.
DPOY this year.
Detroit Lions offense is 4th in the league. Their defense is 15th. One issue they have is they have almost twice as many penalties as their opponents, so they got to do something about their penalties. Montgomery has been a surprise, 271 yards, 4.2 yards per carry. I do think this is kind of a pick 'em game. It's in Tampa. It's going to be a beautiful day. That Tampa line is tough to run against, and Vita Vea is – you can't move him out of the way. He is, and he rushes the passer, 3.5 sacks as well. I think it's a big game, but I'm going to give a slight lean to Detroit.
I'm on an island by myself.
No, Harris is with you.
No,
Oh,
Harris was with you.
Rangers 1-0 early.
Was with you.
And if you're Buccaneers, you probably got a ship or something that you can get on if you're
Yeah.
on the island.
Oh, good.
I'll go with my
Good,
nephew.
Good.
He's a Buccaneer fan.
Let's get rid of that.
All right, our next game is the New York
Orioles. Let's get rid of.
Oh, here we go.
1-4. Go to Buffalo, who are 3-2. It's going to be 46 degrees, and Rain is likely in Buffalo.
That's going
And that game is going to
cold
be
spell here in the upper Midwest.
on NBC with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth.
Yeah, the usual.
I think Michael.
Mike?
Oh, I get
Yep.
to start this. Oh, here we go.
Perfect.
This is my
My
team.
team.
G-Man.
We're going to call this the Amtrak Bowl, okay? Oh, my poor Giants. They're one of the worst. Is Danny playing this week? I don't know. And it really doesn't matter. Is Saquon coming back? I don't know. It really don't matter. I think the Giants are just going to get on that Amtrak train all the way up. They're going to pass Buffalo, and they're going to end up in Niagara Falls. Meanwhile, the Bills just got to wake their butts up. You know, I know this ain't New England. I know this ain't I know this ain't Miami. I know this ain't the Jets. But I don't know if anybody's seen the Peacock commercial for it. They're not even talking. They're singing a Billy Joel song. Okay, that's the commercial they're using for this game. This is the I wish that Peacock didn't choose this game. Meanwhile, Josh Allen is better than Daniel Jones and 2 times better than Tyrone Taylor. Buffalo.
Tim?
Oh yeah, I like the Bills in this game. Big.
Ron?
The biggest line of the week. How about 14 and a half?
14 and a half.
14 and a half.
Wow.
When's the last time you saw a team that was 14 and a half point underdogs pull an upset? Like 1858. No, they ain't had it.
I got the answer to that. Super Bowl IV, Chiefs and Vikings. They were 14 and a half.
Yeah, how about that one?
This
Not the
ain't Super Bowl IV. Now 36-17. It could be worse than that before it's over with. I'm being nice to the Giants, giving them 17. I'm not sure they're going to score that many, but the Bills may score more than 36. Yeah, it's going to be a rout.
Tim, is Columbus playing tonight?
No, they don't play till Thursday.
Oh.
Oh.
Aren't you happy about that?
We got the
That's what the Giants said, Dan.
good
It's all
game
for you.
for the first game. Well, back and forth. 5-3 was the final with an empty netter for Tampa. So just
Okay.
They're always tough.
3-2 and then back and forth, and finally Tampa pulled ahead at the end.
This is another one you don't have to think about. Give me the Bills.
All you have to do is listen to me.
The
The
only
Amtrak
thing,
Bowl.
if I just had Mike and I got advice from Mike on this, and since the bus isn't even going to the stadium, I'm safe picking the Bills. So that's good. And the only thing for the Bills that I would say is, I mean, man, are they losing key pieces just all over? It seems like every week 2 guys are just dropping. And I mean,
Not this
eventually
week.
they're going to be really thin, but they're not going to have trouble this week.
Not this week.
And
Well,
guys,
anybody on
I'm so sorry. I have to take off. I've got a kid thing to do, but hey, great week, and hope we do okay this time.
Yeah, maybe the
Cowboys Chargers, Dan.
Cowboys Chargers game.
Oh boy. Oh man, that is the toughest one for me this week.
Monday night.
I went back and forth on it. The line keeps moving around. Do you have that Dallas is still favored, Rob?
2.5.
2.5. Yeah. it's sitting
Oh,
around
then you're going to miss
2.5.
my speech wait till you hear my speech for this one.
I can't wait. Can't wait. I'm gonna watch the show just for your speech on that, Mike.
Oh, I'm thinking in my head right now.
You've got it worked out. Okay.
Almost.
I think that Dallas bounces back. Give me Dallas on the last one.
Yeah, man. Gotcha.
All right.
Take care.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Back,
All right,
back
Dan.
to, thanks, Dan.
Bye,
Yep.
Dan.
Back to the Giants and Buffalo Bills game. Well, anybody on the Giants offensive line block somebody? They haven't yet. And it's been, Neal's been a huge disappointment. He was first-round draft pick. So Daniel Jones can't be Daniel Jones when he's on his back. And Barkley, it's like you said, Michael, it doesn't matter if Jones plays or Barkley plays. They can't block for him anyway. Buffalo, I think, will get well. Yes, they've lost Tre'Davious White and now Milano, the linebacker, who I thought was the heart of Buffalo's defense. He's out for the season. So they can't keep losing these key pieces. Their last 3 games have been by 30 or more, and I think they will win this one by 30 or more. So I got Buffalo. Keith?
Yeah, I'll go with the Bills here. I don't really give the Giants much of a chance.
Last NFL game is the Monday night game.
Oh,
That's the Cowboys and their throwback unis against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Throwback Chargers, yep.
The Cowboys are 3-2, and this is in the dome, so the weather doesn't matter. It's going to be on ESPN with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. The Chargers are 2-2. This is the revenge. This is the battle of the coordinators game. Kellen Moore and the head coach of the Cowboys. Who's first on this one?
Tim.
Once again, Chargers will probably find a way to lose this one late. I'll take the Cowboys.
Rob?
When's the last time I took the Chargers? That's been 15 years ago. Cowboys are pissed. Yeah, 2.5's not near enough here. 40-30. I think it's the highest scoring game of the week. 40-30. I like the Cowboys.
ESPN would be very happy with that.
Harris took them too. Harris took the Cowboys too.
I'm going to go against the grain here.
Bills.
I'm going to go against the grain here and pick the Chargers. I think the Cowboys' problems are pretty deep-seated. They made this big philosophical change when they fired Kellen Moore and gave McCarthy the play calling for the offense. And you don't see any motions. They ran one play action pass last week. He runs an archaic offense. Now that's the same criticism he got when he left Green Bay, that his offense was too archaic. Dallas' secondary has been 30th in the league since they lost Diggs. Dak 3 interceptions last week. They're wondering if he's the long-term answer in Dallas. You know, the owner keeps speaking in Dak's behalf, but we've watched this movie for quite a while now, and Dak is not getting any better. Moore is playing for a head coaching job somewhere, and I think he's going to be pretty close to getting one. He was a steal from Dallas, and the fans in Dallas, right now, they would rather have him back. Keenan Allen's a superstar, 35 catches, 435 yards. Khalil Mack had 6 sacks, but they were all in one game. And the thing about the Chargers I've noticed this year is that they've been awful in stopping the run for a few years, but they're getting a little bit better at stopping the run, and it's kind of surprising. I'm going with Los Angeles. Keith?
I think Dallas will bounce back here, and the Chargers will probably, with Dallas's defense, still a pretty good defense. I think the Chargers might make a couple mistakes. I'll go with the Cowboys.
Okay, Mike, you ready to entertain Dan?
Jimmy, what are you doing? You're making every Cowboy fan have less hair than me. All right? My man, Zach Attack. Oh, yeah, he's some hero. He has been such a freaking bust. Troy Pollard, you gotta learn to hold on to the football. You can't fumble 2 times a game. Okay? And Ceedee, that's the kind of person that doesn't know what they're doing. They're seedy. They're causing all kinds of troubles. That's how bad he is. The defense stinks. I'm not going against no grain. They're probably going to be exhausted from this road trip, and they can't wait to go home to hear these fans boo. just because there are a ton of fans, Cowboy fans in San Diego, don't mean nothing. Give me the Chargers.
Micah Parsons could be DPOY.
Some people are wondering though if the teams have figured out how to play Dallas's defense. This has been
They have.
They've been chipping him lately. They've been chipping him with a tight end and then a running back, and he don't like it.
All right. Let's go over our locks from last week. Pull out the locks box, and Brian had Miami.
Yep.
That worked.
Automatic.
Dan had
Lions.
the Lions. That worked.
Automatic.
Keith, you had
Buffalo.
Wow.
They'll make up for it. Don't worry.
and Tim had the Eagles. That worked.
Just squeezed by.
And Rob was all too happy to get the Chiefs, even though he was picking last.
Yeah.
And that
No
worked.
problem. Not a problem. Yep.
So Keith gets first choice this week.
All right, I'll go with Buffalo.
Let's put Buffalo in the locks box.
Sorry, Mike.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of who I'm going to take.
Michael, who are you going to take?
Oh, I get second pick. Oh, Lord. I don't know why. I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to take El Mustachio. I'm going to take the Colts.
All right.
Lock?
As a lock? Okay.
As a lock. I'm worried about Kansas City. I'm worried about, I'm worried about, I was thinking Houston. But I'm going to go with an instinct. Il Mustachio. The Playboy football player. Yeah.
Mike's got the Colts.
I'm going to go with the Baltimore Colts.
Indianapolis Colts.
I know.
Tim.
Well, yeah, the Baltimore Colts win. That would be a big.
Now I think I'm going to throw your softball here, but I'll take the Dolphins.
Tim puts the Dolphins in the lock box. Rob?
You left them for me, boys and girls. I'm taking the Chiefs again. Are you kidding? I'm running with that shit.
I knew.
That
I
boot
left it for you.
ain't sunk yet. I'll take it.
Well, that's who I was thinking about, the Chiefs. Let's see. I'll go to 49ers, San Francisco.
That's a fair one.
Really surprised nobody took it. Eagles.
I was thinking about it.
Did somebody take the Dolphins? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, you kidding?
And then I'll get
Tim
laughed
did.
at. And then I won't get laughed at when I get
I was
locked.
ready to take them. I think the Dolphins are the lock of the week, but I'll take the Chiefs right behind them. I'm okay with that.
All right, Packers and Steelers have a bye this week.
Is Taylor showing up to this game?
I don't know. The rumor is
home,
she's going to be banging the drum before the game, but we'll see. All right, let's talk about that. Concludes the NFL part of our show. Let's talk about some of the NCAA games, starting with Georgia at Vanderbilt. Georgia is number one. And I think the questions are over about Georgia being number one after they thumped Kentucky 51-13 last week. I think the questions are kind of done with about Carson Beck at quarterback. He had 389 yards last week with 4 touchdowns. Vanderbilt, they've got a wide receiver worth watching named Will Shepard. He's got 35 catches for 550 yards, 6'3" senior, 15.7 average. This is an easy pick for me, Georgia. Keith?
George.
Michael?
Oh God, Georgia is without a doubt.
Tim?
Yeah, Georgia. Penguins are up 1-0.
And Rob?
31.5 point favorites, and they'll have it covered by halftime. 60-13.
I thought you were going to say Liberty.
Liberty's playing tonight.
Liberty. Oh,
They're playing Jacksonville State, aren't they? They're playing Jacksonville State tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
number 2
denied.
Number 2 team, Michigan, is 6-0. They're hosting Indiana, who are 2-3. Michigan's coming off a 52-10 thumping of Minnesota last week. They are number 3 in the land in total defense. Indiana is coming off a bye week, and their best player is Philip Dunman with a defensive back with 3 interceptions and 35 tackles. This is also not a close game for me, Michigan.
Yes, Michigan.
Tim?
Michael, you want to take this one next?
Yeah. I got to go with Jim. I got to go with Jim or John or whatever. Give me Michigan.
Yeah.
The
Harbaugh.
The Harbaugh. Not even the power of Declan McMahon will help the Hoosiers for this one. Yes, that's Shane McMahon's kid, running back for IU. He was at the live event.
Better than UP.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So, yeah, I like Michigan big here.
Rob?
34 points. They're just going to cover it. Just right over it. 56-18.
It'll be 70 points. It'll be 74 points.
Yeah.
Next top 10 game I've got is Ohio State goes to Lafayette to play Purdue. OSU is 5-0. Purdue is 2-4. Last week against Maryland, McCord threw for 320 yards and 2 touchdowns. When they beat Maryland 37-17. Defensive secondary for Ohio State's outstanding. They are ranked 7th in the land, their secondary. Neither team runs the ball very well, so that's going to be interesting to see if anybody can get a running game going in that game. Purdue lost to Iowa last week, 14-20. I'm picking Ohio State. Keith?
Yeah, I like Ohio State in this. Purdue just put up a lot of points last week, right? Against somebody.
No, they lost 14-20 to Iowa.
Okay, I was thinking they had scored a lot of points against somebody recently, but yeah, Ohio State will win this game.
Michael?
The only question I have is, why does Ohio State let the other team score first and then they show their true colors? Buckeyes.
Tim?
Yeah, I think they'll spend a lot of time getting Travion Henderson, who will be returning this game back into shape. Give me Ohio State big.
Rob?
Ohio State favored by 20. I don't see it. Yeah, of course I do. By 30, 51-21. They're going to stomp them. Yeah.
Okay, Florida State is number 4. They're going to be at home against Syracuse. Syracuse is 4-2, and Florida State is 5-0. They beat Northwestern. I'm sorry. They beat Virginia Tech last week, Florida State, 39-17. Trey Benson ran 11 times for 200 yards in that game. Their defense is not great at FSU. It's like 44th in the country, and their secondary is pretty good. They've only allowed 51% passes completed, but their run defense, the first game I watched them play run defense, I thought they were great, but their run defense has not been there. Syracuse lost to North Carolina last week, 7-40. Gave up 442 yards passing to Drake May in North Carolina. I'm picking Florida State.
Yeah, Florida State.
Michael?
No, let's go with an upset special. Syracuse.
Okay. No, I still think Florida State's too strong for Syracuse. I'll take Florida State.
Rob?
Mike, you might have something here, but I just don't think they can win the game. But boy, 17.5 is too many points here. I'm with you on that one, Mike. I think they stay in the game. 27-24, Florida State.
Okay.
Real close game. I like a real close game.
Next game is University of Massachusetts to Pennsylvania. UMass is 1-4, I believe, and Penn State is 5-0. And ranked number 6, Penn State last week beat Northwestern 41-13. Their offense is number 1 or number 11 in the country, and their defensive secondary is rated number 1. UMass lost to Toledo 41-24 last week and surrendered 9.6 yards on the ground running against Toledo. Picking Penn State.
Penn State. Yeah, UMass isn't much competition for many teams.
Michael?
Oh God. What's UMass's record?
1-4.
1-4.
1-4. So they're probably like a 25-point underdog, and that don't mean nothing. Penn State will probably beat them like 70-7.
42.5 point favorites is what.
Yeah, they'll beat them 70-7. Penn State.
Tim?
I was going to go with the same score that Penn State beat Ohio State back in 1994, 63-14.
Oh, there you go.
Wow, that's close to what I
94?
got.
Yeah,
94? It was
94.
63.
63-14 was what Penn State beat Ohio State by.
Did Ohio State's coach get fired that year?
No, he stayed on for another 6 years.
Oh, okay. Was that the sweater?
No, that was Newt Cooper.
Oh, Cooper. John Cooper. I remember that.
Cooper, yes. That was the year he actually beat Michigan. It was 94.
Oh, that's what saved his job.
He probably saved his job.
That was
Yeah,
the
my sister's
Kerry
kids.
Collins, Nittany Lions.
Kerry Collins,
John
Carter, Bobby Ingram. Yep, that one.
Yeah, my sister worked at Ohio State for many years, and her kids did not like John Cooper. And I was with them one time. They happened to see him like at a store or something. And they looked at him and said, "Oh, that's John Cooper." And that's where I found out they did not like John Cooper. And I watched him play his team, Ohio State, at a Missouri game. He was very demeaning to Missouri's whole operation. He just was a classless guy.
Well, that was the game that Corby Jones got put flat on his ass by Andy Katzenmoyer.
Yeah. His day was over. He was telling me his day was over.
That was a linebacker for Ohio State.
Yes.
That's a
Rob, what was your? Going to get your?
Oh yeah, Penn State should be embarrassed to be playing this team this late in the season.
Yeah.
Come on, you got to at least play somebody.
They were off last week, weren't they?
Yeah, they were off.
Oh Lord, even worse.
So UMass. I don't know what you're going to call them this week.
Yeah, the bye week should have been a closer
42
contest.
and a half ain't going to come close. You said 63-14,
Yes.
Tim? And a field goal. 66-14.
Our next two games could be outstanding games. It's number 8, Oregon goes to number 7.
Oh yeah, here's
Yes.
a game.
This is a pick'em game for me. Oregon beat Stanford last week, 42-6. Bo Nix threw for 290 with 4 touchdowns last week. He's just throwing touchdowns, not throwing interceptions. Washington won the game last year over Oregon. Last week they beat Arizona 31-24. Penix was 30 for 40 for 363. Bernhard, the wide receiver, had 98 yards, and Dylan Johnson, the running back, ran for 98 yards in that game. I am going to pick Oregon because I think their front is a little bit tougher than Washington's. Oregon.
Yeah, Washington's defense is starting to worry me a little bit there as far as what I thought they were as a team. I'm kind of sensing an upset here too. I'm going to go with Oregon. I was tempted to go up until just a few moments ago. I was going to go with Washington in a close one, but I think I will go with Oregon on this one.
Michael?
Does anybody know where game day is going this week?
That would be a good place for it.
Yeah.
That's it. That's where they're going. And I'm going to go with the favorite.
North
I'm gonna
Carolina?
go with
I don't know.
Washington.
Tim?
Oh,
Washington.
I'll take Oregon, and I'm going to say this will probably be like 45-42.
Oh, yeah. A track meet.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a track meet.
I agree. Da, 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 da.
Rob? Did I steal your thunder again?
wow. Michael
I'm
Penix Jr. Will not win the Heisman now. He's going to lose it. I've liked Washington all year long. The one thing Washington has going for it, they were off last week. They didn't play last week. They had a bye. That's got to help. But did Oregon play last? I think Oregon was off last week too.
You said they played Stanford last.
I didn't check the date on that game though. That was
Yeah,
just
it
the
was
last game.
last week.
Poor Bob.
Because the last game Washington played, they beat Arizona only by a touchdown, and then last week Arizona played USC. I think both of these teams were off last week.
Yes, they were.
If that's the case, man, I'll tell you what, it's hard for me to go against Oregon. I know Washington's a 3-point favorite. They're everyone's darling. I think they're right now a top 5 team in the country. I don't think Oregon is, but they will be if they win this week. 40-36 upset. I'll take Oregon in this ball.
What's the over-under on that game, Rob?
I do
80.
not have. Is it 80?
No, I'm just saying.
Hold on.
I don't
Let me
know.
see if I can pull
All I
something up
did,
here.
all I got was in lines. I did not have the over-unders. But
Let's see here.
I'll say 76 is under.
Oregon's won their
I would
last
say
two
it's at
games
least
by the
7.
exact same score.
Oop, Liberty 10. Jackson
Actually,
State
the
7.
over-under is 67.5.
What was the score Oregon won by last time?
42-6 the last two games. Colorado, and then they had Stanford. Home against Colorado.
What a Kraken play later.
And Stanford.
Yeah.
Okay, our last
Only 67.5. But USC and Notre Dame.
our last top team is SC and Notre Dame. Notre Dame has 2 losses. SC beat Arizona 43-41.
Overtime.
It's
Yeah.
triple overtime, yeah.
Still no defense. They're giving up almost 5 yards against themselves rushing. Notre Dame lost to Louisville, and Louisville kind of dominated Notre Dame.
Yeah.
Up front, for sure. Hartman threw 3 picks, so his Heisman hopes are kind of out the door. And Notre Dame had a lot of penalties in that game. To me, it's hard to pick this game because SC just doesn't have a defense. I'm going to give a slight lean to Notre Dame. The weather's going to be a little bit on the crappy side. I'm going to pick Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Notre Dame probably should win this game because USC doesn't have a defense that's really been showing much at all. But I don't know. Supposedly Notre Dame's quarterback was kind of upset with the blocking he was or wasn't getting this last week, and USC is pretty potent on offense. Notre Dame's got to play clean on offense to pull this one out. I'm going to say Notre Dame will win the game, but I don't know. It's not one of those ones I'm going to be real confident in going in, but I will go with Irish Notre Dame.
Michael?
Me? Notre Dame, that was an embarrassment last week, losing. But I think the weather's going to be a big factor. Isn't it supposed to rain out there Saturday?
Chance of it.
Good chance. There's a good chance, yeah.
Before I make my pick, Liberty 10-7 in the second quarter. Rangers 6-zip. It's over.
Yeah.
It's over.
Let's hope so.
My pick, it ain't going to be Usk. It's going to be Notre Dame.
Tim?
Yeah, only because of the USC plays Swiss cheese defense. As long as Notre Dame can take care of the ball, I think they could win this game.
Rob?
Believe it or not, Notre Dame is a 2.5-point favorite this week, and they've suffered 2 losses already. But you know what? Something just tells me USC is not going to run through this defense like they've done everybody else. I just don't think they're going to throw the ball for 500 yards. 31-28 Irish. I think they're going to cover and win. I like them in this game.
All right, that concludes our top 10 games.
Usk.
There's a lot of interesting top 25 games. You got Arizona. You got Razorbacks and Alabama.
Yeah.
Looks like they're kind of slowly putting it back together. You got Cal,
Miami,
Utah.
Miami, North Carolina. I don't know if you have those handy.
Might have. No.
A&M and
A&M and Tennessee.
Yep,
Yeah. Yeah.
In Tennessee, though.
Yes, it is.
I used to have a coworker who was from Tennessee that had season tickets. He was one of the guys that rides the boat up the river, gets out of the boat, and goes to the stadium. Yeah.
Usk.
KU at Oklahoma State. KU is back up to number 23 in the country. Their offensive line, they're all seniors, and they've all played together for 4 years. It's almost like watching a ballet. They are they're really something to watch. They've not had their number one quarterback the most of the year, but the backup is decent.
I'm guessing Oklahoma is off this week.
Funny, Rob, I was rewatching a show you and I did about 2 years ago, and we were talking about this exact thing, not having all your offensive linemen be seniors.
Who you watching? Who you and who?
You and I.
Oh, okay.
And it's somehow popped up in my thing. We were talking about how you can't have all your offensive linemen be seniors at the same time. You got to at least have 2 good offensive linemen each year.
You want them. You prefer to get one each year.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'd prefer to get a freshman somewhere, even if that's good, and that way you got a continuance of it. But once those seniors leave Kansas, the cupboard is bare.
Oh man, it's going to be back down to the bottom. And now
I would say so.
18.
In the age of the portal transfer,
Yeah.
they have been pretty good at picking up portal transfer. So we'll see. Another top 25 game is Louisville at Pitt.
This isn't a trap game for Louisville. Pitt's not very good, but Louisville could be all-time. I would say probably one of their higher points, beating.
They were impressive against Notre Dame.
They were very impressive.
Does Miami fire their coach, or should they fire their coach?
If they lay an egg again this week, I would possibly think they could.
Man, I'll tell you.
It's not laying an egg if you're playing North Carolina, but
right, but that's an unforgivable sin right there. Not taking a knee when you're supposed to. I mean, come on. You got to do that. I mean, that's football 101. I mean, that's one of the first things you learn is clock management. It should be anyway. Now, I realize Mario Cristobal went to the same school of clock management as an idiot we got in Washington. That guy can't tell time either. But man, oh man, there's 10.5 million reasons that if you ever were going to fire somebody, it'd be like, hey, it's time to go now.
Ooh, James Conner is out.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that. But no, I did mention that, and they picked up Tony Jones and Damian Williams.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, I just
Pittsburgh.
The Fighting Harris Jessups.
Oh,
Auburn against LSU. LSU surprised me last week. I thought Missouri was going to win that game. It was close until about the last half of the fourth quarter.
when's the last time? I mean, these two teams always play close. And LSU's 11-point favorites. I'm like, wow. It just floored me when I heard that. I was like, Auburn is not that good a team, but man, 11 points.
LSU's quarterback is amazing. Jalen Daniels is outstanding.
And they're playing the Tigers again, huh? Tigers.
And the other Tigers. Now one-loss Tigers are playing the one-loss Kentucky.
Where's Johnson playing? What team is he on now?
Brad Johnson's kid.
Yeah. I thought he was on LSU.
You might be right.
Washington State and Arizona. Did you see that one? Huh. LSU and Auburn. Us. We got K-State.
Oh, he transferred to Texas A&M.
A&M. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's thank goodness we don't have to bet on that guy. That clown. He just, oh my gosh.
Okay, another top 25 game.
Right?
Yeah,
I was just looking at that.
That should be a good ball game.
Is that what is that? That's probably on the Pac-12 network, right?
No, it's on Fox.
I don't know.
Oh,
Fox has got it. Oregon State's favored by 5, but I think they still cover. I think they're the better team. They're at home too.
Let's see.
Here's a good North Carolina rivalry game. We got Duke hosting North Carolina State.
Yeah, with a backup quarterback, it's tough for me to take Duke. I like NC State in this game to win outright, but if they had their quarterback, I'd give Duke a chance. But I think
they're the 8 o'clock game on Fox. Good.
I think they're going to lose. Has anybody got Miami upsetting Carolina this week?
No,
I don't. I got North Carolina.
I would have liked them this week had they not pulled the dumb mistake. But I think it's going to keep it close, 38-31. I like Carolina.
This is not a top 25 game, but I think Colorado gets back. I
was going to ask when's Dion playing?
They're playing Stanford.
Oh,
and they should roll. They should roll Stanford.
Did you see the new black helmets
for Stanford?
No, for Colorado, for the Deons.
Oh, yeah, with the white buffalo. Yep.
Yeah, they were nice. They were nice looking for the Deons.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, how about the situation with Shedeur Sanders and their wide receiver? They actually got in a fist fight over this past weekend.
I didn't know about
It's
that.
on video. It's on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they were stroking, boys and girls. I mean, they were hitting each other. I'm like, wow, I was thrown back by that. Sanders.
What did Dion do?
Well, I ain't heard, but I mean, they're just showing this as a raw video. These two were getting fighting. Nobody broke it up. They just keep fighting. Sanders beat the crap out of him.
Was that during the game or a practice or something?
I want to say it was after the game Saturday. What's your kid's name? The receiver?
Hunter.
No, he's a running back. The guy begins with a B.
This kid right here, this calling
Does it start with a W?
All-American. He's an All-American.
Is Travis Hunter back?
Hunter, that's who it is. It's Travis Hunter and him.
Yeah.
Those two, that's who it was. Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders.
Well,
And I mean, they're
both two-way players.
Sanders tried to throttle him. I mean, he actually tried to choke him, and then they start fighting. Yeah.
No, they've been together for a long time. Yeah,
It's
pretty good school in there.
when losses change people. Losses change people, and I'm telling you, Miami right now, I think that was a team that possibly could have ran through the schedule and beat everybody. And now I'm not sure they're going to win another game this year. Really, I think they could really just fall off the ship and just say chips ahoy, and that's it for us.
By the way, I will not be watching the Ohio State game on Saturday because it is a Peacock exclusive.
Oh yeah,
I can watch
Sorry.
the P. I watched the P.
Yeah, you would because you get all the WWE stuff. But
That's right. I get all the good wrestling. But you can watch
Sorry, Brian. Didn't mean to give an obscene gesture on your channel. I know we try to keep it family friendly, but
you can watch us.
Hey, I got A&M.
I think I'll watch something.
I think A&M is going to beat Tennessee. How about that one? Even with Johnson, 26-24. I'm going that route.
Why not?
Yeah, because
that's what I say.
Yeah, actually, that game's on ABC, I believe. The
A&M
Washington game.
I wonder how they're doing ABC with their college games.
And I got Kentucky losing. Missouri. I think Missouri. I still like them, man. I tell you what, they played a tough game last week.
But they surprised me.
I think they're going to go right into Kentucky and beat them 27-21. I like Missouri.
Okay.
I really do.
Kentucky's got to be shell-shocked from that Georgia game.
They got to be, man. I'll tell you what. They so many people in Kentucky, I think, really thought they had a legit chance of beating a Georgia team that's not up so much for every game now. Georgia turns the switch on when they need it. They turn the air conditioner on when they need to cool things off. They turn the heat on when they need to. This team is still scary good. Yeah. They're better than I thought they were. And I really thought by now they may have taken a loss. But, man, oh, man, I'll tell you what, Georgia is a real deal. Yeah. They're the real deal.
Well, the Oregon-Washington game is going to tell us a lot in the national picture.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah. And think about it. If USC loses, if UCLA loses, and then Washington loses, I mean, Oregon has a straight shot in there to win it all, in the Pac-12. Now, of course, USC, that wouldn't be a conference loss, but still, it's not doing good for you points-wise as far as being in the top 10, top 15. And they'll definitely fall a good bit if they lose to Notre Dame. And we all picked them. I just think Notre Dame's a better team right there. I really do.
So if Notre Dame beats SC, do you think they fall out of the top 10?
Do I think USC? They're number 10 now. Yeah. They'll fall out the top 15. Yeah.
I think Notre Dame is 11 now or something like that. Or is that Alabama?
Notre Dame's 21.
Alabama's
21. USC is number 10. Yeah. They won't be in the top 15 if they lose. Yeah. And it's gonna be tough. I mean, look, they've dropped them the last 2 weeks and they haven't lost. So the writers are like, they're not feeling USC at all. They're not. They're thinking that it's just a matter of time before the shoe drops right on their head and she'll smash them. And I think a lot of sports writers like Notre Dame in this game. I think it's a way to bet. I really do. I think it is. We'll see. We're going to see how good Caleb Williams is, and if he wants to be the number 1 pick, he needs to go against a defense.
He might want to go to Belichick's.
He doesn't want to be the number 1 pick.
And I'm not sure he can do it. I'm just not sure.
Bye, Michael.
Okay, guys, they're falling off the screen. We've been on for a couple hours. So we probably need to call it a day here. But thanks for joining us, especially DJ John was with us the whole day. Demarion Foster as well. Thanks for joining us. Y'all have a good day and enjoy your weekend.
Good night, all.
Thank you.